In this video, we are going to discuss about XML Dom. DOM stands for Document Object Model. There are different kinds of DOMs available like Core DOM, HTML DOM, XML DOM. We have seen already this Core DOM, HTML DOM early at the time of learning JavaScript. So there we use that document object, window object to manipulate HTML elements with the help of DOM objects. Now coming to the XML DOM, it defines a standard way for accessing and manipulating XML documents. The purpose of document object model is to parse XML data into the web browser. So here the DOM represents that entire XML as a tree structure. And of course this W3C recommended document object model is a platform and language neutral interface that allows programs and scripts to dynamically access, update the content, structure and style of the document. If you see the XML document in the view of DOM, this document object model says that entire XML document is an XML document node. Every XML element is an element node. The text in the XML element nodes are text nodes. Every attribute is an attribute node. And of course, comments are comment nodes. And coming to the node trees, if you see any XML document, it resembles like a tree structure, or it seems to be like a tree structure. There is a root element and there are some branches, or I can say some child elements exist. Even those childs may have some other child, subchilds, and all these nodes have some relation. There is a parent child relation, siblings relation, all these are all exist. The sample example is showing this relations and all. Now coming to the parsing XML document, XML document object model contain some sort of methods. These methods helps you in traversing XML tree, access, insert, delete nodes. The procedure is like this. You have to create XML HTTP object first, then open that object. Okay, at the time of open the object, you have to pass different arguments like which XML document you want to open, in which method you want to open, in which mode you want to operate all this, and then you have to send this data to a server using send. This is the process involved in parsing XML document. Coming to the XML DOM properties, using these properties we can get to know what is the name of the node, what is the value of the node, what is the parent of that particular node, what is the child node exists, what is the attribute assigned to that node. All these details we can get with the help of the properties of document object model. And apart from that, we have to learn something about what methods are involved. There are three different methods. Majorly, there are three different methods available, like get elements by tag name, where it is helpful to access the entire XML document. Append child is actually meant for inserting child node, and remove child is actually delete the node from a tree. Let's look at a simple example. Let me open an XML document. Here I have an XML document. This XML document contains class, and this class, inside this we have student, and inside the student we have something called first name, last name, nickname, marks. Okay, like that we have three different student details. For this I want to develop an application, okay, or else I would say I want to develop a web page where this web page is going to parse the XML data in the form of a table with the help of XML DOM. Let me write that HTML element. On load, I am going to invoke a function called load XML. This method invoke when the document is loaded into a web browser. Within this, I just want to test if window.xml http request. Here every browser has some object. So all Microsoft browsers whose version is early to 6, like 6 IE6, IE5, IE4, those have something called ActiveX object, whereas non-Microsoft browsers have something called XML HTTP request. Let's say XML HTTP equal to, let me create the object of this. And for Microsoft browsers there is something called ActiveX object. And then we have to open this XML http dot open up. You have to specify the first attribute as the method. We all know that there are different methods available like get, post, put, all this. So we are using get method here, and I want to load a XML document called mail.xml, and the third argument is about synchronous or asynchronous. We are sending the data asynchronously, that's why we put the last argument as false. If you want to send this XML data in the form of synchronous mode or in the synchronous way, you have to write true. But in our case, we are doing it asynchronously. That's why I use this false at the last statement. And then XML http dot send off. Okay. So this is how we are actually open that XML document using this XML HTTP request object and send it to the server. And of course we are going to write whatever response we got, that is XML http dot response XML. You are going to get the response in the form of XML that is collected by XML doc. Now let's look at this. To parse a particular element, we have methods like get elements by ID, get elements by tag name of, append child, remove child. To parse the elements, we use this XML doc dot get elements by tag name of. The tag name here is, I am using first name, and of course this element, the first occurrence of the first name. How can we specify this? With the help of an index like, within open closed square brackets we put 0. The index 0 specifies first occurrence of first name, and child nodes of child nodes of 0 dot node value. Node value is the property which actually gives the value of that particular name. The first occurrence of first name is here, okay, and there is no child here, 0th child, and of course we are accessing this data. So when you write it, when you want to present it on a document or in a web page, we have something called document dot This is how can we write. Yeah. Now let's look at yeah, in the place of div tag I want to replace that div tag with the XML element. Okay, for that I'm going to use something called for loop. For I equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. And this value is returned to it. So let me use txt equal to null. Okay, and let's say, or else txt equal to table tag, table open, and of course tr open. Here txt plus equal to td td close. Within this I just want to add this txt plus equal to this value. Okay, and put this, put the border as 1. Document dot get element by tag name, sorry, by id of, the id of div tag is, let's say std dot inner html equal to, let's say txt. Now refresh this and we have to put I here. So this loop repeat for 3 times. So we got the values of first name. Okay, Lekya, Anvesh, then Kumar. Let's see how to add the rest of the information. Only thing is just add the same loop. Let's say marks of the student. Okay, This is how you can handle or the parse the characters or parse XML data using XML DOM.